James Webb Telescope new alien civilization discovery on Proxima b. Scientists at NASA just shocked the entire world by claiming that space telescopes can now map exoplanets. If you want to see how far technological limits can go, you cannot go farther than taking a look at the astounding piece of technology that is the James Webb Space Telescope. Being the successor of the Hubble Space Telescope, the JWST is designed to go much farther into space. So far out that we can examine the exoplanet Proxima Centauri b, which is an astounding 4.24 light-years away. But why Proxima b, you might ask? One word: aliens. Proxima b might be housing an alien civilization, and our only hope of finding out is the James Webb Space Telescope. Today we're going to talk about the insane engineering of the James Webb Telescope, and how it's capable of finding possible alien civilization on Proxima b. I know what we're all thinking. How is it possible that aliens exist on such a faraway planet? Is it even habitable? How can we use the JWST to see if they exist? Well, stick around till the end as we answer this intriguing question. Without further ado, let's begin the video. To understand whether there's alien life aboard Proxima b, we need to first see how the JWST is even capable of assessing the exoplanet in the first place. Although it's impossible to directly examine the exoplanet's surface, two methods can be used to measure the spatial variation of its atmosphere: phase curve analysis and secondary eclipse mapping. A phase curve is a graph that depicts the brightness of a reflecting body as a function of its phase angle in astronomy. The brightness of an object is commonly defined as its absolute magnitude, which is its apparent magnitude at a distance of 1 astronomical unit from the Earth and Sun. The arc subtended by the observer on the Sun as measured by the body is equal to the phase angle. Furthermore, the day side of the exoplanet is resolved in secondary eclipse mapping. Sections of the planet remain veiled as it travels in and out from behind its star from our perspective, allowing us to isolate the light emitted by a specific area of its atmosphere. It's feasible to map the day side of the atmosphere versus longitude and latitude by measuring the amount of light emitted by each segment. The Webb telescope will deliver exceptional precision observations over a wide range of wavelengths, thanks to its 6.5-meter mirror, which is larger than Hubble's 2.4-meter lens. 4 instruments will observe and analyze the atmospheres of a variety of exoplanets in the infrared spectrum. It'll be feasible to measure the 3-dimensional variation of extraterrestrial atmospheres using the mapping tools accessible to us with the Webb telescope. These measurements will help us learn more about atmospheric dynamics and hence the exoplanet Proxima b. It's essential to understand that without the modern marvel that is the JWST, looking into the exoplanet would have been just a dream. It's never aliens until it is. The British newspaper The Guardian reported on December 18th that a strange signal was coming from the nearest star to our own, Proxima Centauri, a star too weak to be seen with the naked eye from Earth, yet only 4.2 light-years distant. The signal appears to emanate from the direction of our neighboring star and cannot yet be dismissed as Earth-based interference, raising the faint possibility that it's a transmission from some form of advanced extraterrestrial intelligence, which was discovered this autumn in archival data gathered last year. The researchers who made the discovery stress that there is still much work to be done, but admit that the public's interest is well-founded. Most intriguingly, it operates in a very restricted band of the radio spectrum, 982 megahertz to be precise, which is usually devoid of broadcasts from human-made satellites and spacecraft. We don't know of any natural way to compress electromagnetic energy into a single bin of frequency, such as this one, says a scientist behind the research. Perhaps, he says, some as-yet unknown exotic quirk of plasma physics could be a natural explanation for the tantalizingly concentrated radio waves. But for the moment, the only source that we know of is technological. Furthermore, on April 29, 2019, scientists affiliated with Breakthrough Listen began collecting data that would later reveal the fascinating signal in this newest SETI setting. A team of researchers used the Parkes radio telescope in Australia to look for signs of flares originating from Proxima Centauri, partly to figure out how much flares would affect Proxima's planets. There are at least 2 worlds in this system. The first, discovered in 2016, was designated Proxima b, is about 1.2 times the size of Earth and orbits in an 11-day orbit. Proxima b is located in the star's habitable zone, a hazily defined region in which liquid water may exist on the surface of the rocky planet, assuming that Proxima Centauri's powerful stellar flares have not sputtered away the planet's atmosphere. A signal must first pass a battery of simple automated tests to rule out evident terrestrial interference before piquing the interest of any SETI researcher. Hundreds of individuals, on the other hand, consistently pass this stage and are chosen for further examination. From then, almost all will be disregarded as a mirror or error, perhaps an excess of static, for example, that tricked the winnowing algorithm, ruling them out as any form of communication from communicative aliens. Not Proxima b, though. It remains under a cloak of uncertainty for now. One might conclude that the case is now concluded. However, while a natural cosmic source may appear doubtful, it cannot be ruled out. And as unlikely as a natural explanation may be, an unnatural one such as aliens is much less likely, according to the theory. In a few months, we'll likely know for certain one way or another. But for the time being, it's never aliens, right? So are you guys enjoying the video? Here comes another challenge. How do you react if you stumble across a civilization of aliens? Do you let them live in peace, or do you try to contact them? How do you tell the world of the presence of another sign of life outside Earth? A thought many people just dismissed as being a fantasy. Imagine you're the very first scientist to discover aliens on Proxima b. Perhaps it's a clear message received through the James Webb Space Telescope. Perhaps they show signs of life when we engage in communication with them. But how can you inform the rest of the world about such a significant find? What happens if you're mistaken? Our generation could realistically be the one to discover evidence of life beyond Earth, wrote NASA Chief Scientist James Green and colleagues. With this privileged potential comes responsibility. Finding alien life is typically regarded to be an all-or-nothing proposition. Either a mission returns incontrovertible proof of life, or it falls short of its purpose, according to the team. However, the data will almost certainly not be in a definite form. Green and colleagues say that this should be made apparent, that such a finding should be reframed so that it isn't presented as a single event in which aliens are revealed to the globe. Instead, it should be viewed as a forward-thinking undertaking that reflects the scientific method. We should redefine the search for life as a progressive enterprise, emphasizing the value of contextual or suggestive but not definite observations, and underline that false beginnings and dead ends are an expected component of a healthy scientific process, according to the experts. This will require scientists, technologists, and the media to engage with one another to agree on the objective standards of evidence for life, as well as the best means to disseminate that evidence. They argue that rather than scrambling to put it together after the fact, this should be done now before life is discovered. One does not simply glance skyward and see the existence of an extraterrestrial species. The creation of the James Webb Telescope has made it possible for us to look an astounding 4.24 light-years away. What we see through the telescope will no doubt change our ideas about the presence of aliens in our universe. So, are you excited to see the first images of an exoplanet that might house a whole alien civilization? Let us know in the comments below. And if you want to watch more of our amazing videos, then stay tuned.